Hello, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this episode number 2 from the Music Business from Artists and Labels Point of View series is about different contracts in the business. So there are a couple of key ones, the most important ones, which I will go through. The first one, the artist / standard recording agreement. It's the one that the label owns the rights to your music until, according to country's copyright law. Let's say in Finland it's when the said artist after 70 years of his passing, then the rights will be free. So basically, if you as an artist, if you do a standard recording agreement, you will the label that you made the deal with will have the rights until for the rest of your life. If for some reason you might be able to negotiate the rights back to you from the label. Okay, so those were the kind of cons regarding the artist, but the pros are if the agreement is good, it makes sense, the royalty percentages are great, then the artist, the label will take care the rest of the sales, the collection. They will collect the money, they will pay you royalties, so you don't have to worry about that. So, and what's good thing is that at least with Universal Music Finland, where I worked as an A&R, with the artist agreement, the recording expenses weren't or aren't recoupable. So recouping means that, let's say, if a label invests or pays the album recording, let's say it's 20,000 euros. So they don't recoup that sum. So recouping means that, okay, if they invest that 20, then until they have gotten the 20,000 back from the sales or streams, they won't be paying any royalties to artists. But with Universal, or with the deals that I made, the recording costs weren't recoupable. So that was purely label's expense. So if there weren't any other recoupable things in the contract, then the artist would start to get royalties from the first sold album, single or stream. So in that sense it's good, and it's good for if you're a new artist or you don't have the funds, the budget to record the album or stuff, so then the label will take care of that. Of course, there are as much different deals, artist agreement, recording agreement deals, as there are artists. So each deal is kind of individual and so on. But this is like the general rule of thumb, at least in my experience as an artist and as a former A&R. I made both deals as an artist and as a label guy. Some of them being really good and some not so good. So yeah, okay, that was the artist agreement. Then the second most used is a license deal, sometimes also called as a master deal. So that is kind of deal that the label licenses the rights to sell, promote, distribute, manufacture it's about one album. So the label licenses the rights from the artist to do those things, and let's say it's 10 years. They have the right to do that for 10 years. Then after that, the rights goes back to the artist. Or if both parties are satisfied with the agreement, then they might, continue the agreement. Maybe negotiate. Maybe artist wants to negotiate a little bit better royalty percent, or something like that. I've done those both as an artist and as a label guy. And those are the pros from artist point of view, that you will get the rights back to yourself. But the cons kind of are like, usually there's an advance involved. So let's say the licensing deal is about this album, and the artist agrees that the artist will deliver master of the album, cover art, booklet, 1-2 music videos, whatever is agreed on the contract, promotional pictures, maybe some greeting videos. They agree to deliver that, and label agrees that they will, as soon as the artist has delivered those, the label will pay advance, or maybe the label will pay half of the agreed advance before, so that the artist can start the recordings and so on. But that advance is usually fully recoupable. So let's say if the label pays you 40,000 euros, and with that 40,000 euros, you need to deliver all those things that are agreed on the contract to the label. If those things cost 50,000 euros, then you have to put 10 on your own. If those things cost you, to the artist, 30,000 euros, then you have an extra 10,000, which you can maybe spend to touring, or buying some gear and stuff. So yeah, that's usually fully recoupable. So that means that the artist won't get any royalties from the label until the label has gotten that amount, that 50k in that case, or 40, did I say, back from streams and sales. And usually there's also like maybe marketing could be recoupable in those cases, but it's every contract is individual. So you want to make sure as an artist, when you do a contract, to check out, and you have to fully understand what is recoupable and what is not. If there's like marketing, everything is recoupable, and some other expenses, then you never see any money, because there will be expenses, whether they are real or not. The label will make sure that there is, at least you check the accounts. So make sure when you do a deal that it clearly says what is recoupable and what is not. So you want to make sure that. So those are the two main: the artist / standard recording agreement, and the license / mastering agreement. Both have pros and cons, and it's up to negotiations, what the label wants, what's the artist's financial situation, etc. Whichever makes sense. I've done both deals as an artist and as a record label guy. So and what else there's there's all kind of, then there's variations of those deals, and 360 deal. That's something you might have heard or stumbled upon. That means that the 360 deal consists all elements of the business. So if an label offers artist a 360 deal, usually it's about there's a recording agreement or licensing agreement, There's a merchandise agreement, so you grant the label to manufacture and sell merchandise. Then there's usually publishing agreement, booking agreement. So the label will have everything in the house under one umbrella. If the company that offers this 360 deal, if they have a really good booking agency, merchandise department, publishing department, then in that case that might make sense. But if they don't have, then it doesn't really make sense from artist's point of view. Because let's say you make that deal and then after a while you realize that, man, that booking agency, their department, it sucks. We haven't got any tours, any shows. They just wanted to have the rights. Then you can't change the booking agency because everything is tied together. So I've never made a 360 deal as an artist. I've always had different deals, different booking agency, different record label, different publisher. Because what I think is that when you have divided those, they all can benefit of each other. So everyone's kicking their asses and trying to, reach the same goal, which is to make the artist successful. But I've heard that some of my colleagues been really happy with their 360 deals, but you really have to be careful who you are signing a 360 deal. And maybe the fourth most used or known deal is a publishing deal. And sometimes labels, they try to incorporate the publishing deal into record or licensing deal. And basically, to my experience, most labels don't have a really good publishing company. They just want to have the rights. So let's say if your song gets into some famous movie or TV series, by maybe your manager has done the work. But then if the label has the publishing rights, then they will collect their share of the money without basically for nothing. But if a label has a really good publishing department, then that might make sense. But usually it's good to keep those separated. Because when I work at Universal and Spinefarm, I never offered a publishing deal to artists because we didn't have really a good publishing department, because we were a record label, we know how to do that stuff, and we were wise, or I was wise enough to let the publishing stuff, to let the people who knows their shit on regarding that area to do their job. So and in the end of the day, everybody benefits. So what a publisher does is, it's this kind of mythical thing. So basically a publisher, let's say if you're a songwriter, then a publisher, and you made a deal with some publishing company, then the publisher tries to sell your songs or offer your songs to maybe some bands, some other artists, and so that's kind of one thought, and maybe get them to TV shows, whatever. So they operate on the song basis, and they also collect the money from, they supervise that your song is credited as it's supposed to. Like, if some company uses your song in some commercial or whatever, then the publisher makes sure that you will get the money you deserve, and of course negotiate that contract, usually in conjunction with the record label. Because I've been, let's say, a company, approaches us, hey, we would like to use this song in our commercial. What will be the terms? Then I usually contact the publisher and hey, we got this offer, what will be the what do you think? And then we agreed the terms that you know, that a publisher is satisfied and the label. And then I contacted back to the company and hey, here's what is our suggestion. And maybe vice versa, if a publisher was approached and then they contacted me as a label guy that hey, I got this offer, so you know, what do you think? So they work kind of in conjunction, but it's cool that they are separate companies, so we can kick each other's asses. Okay, yeah, I think those were the most common ones. Please check on the description below. I put some links there, and maybe a bullet point list here of those 4 deals, 4 most common deals I went. The recording/artist agreement, a license/master agreement, a 360 deal, and a publishing deal. And one tip to especially artists: when you agree something with someone, whether it's your friend, your bandmate, your manager, your booking agent, your label, always write that down, what you agreed, and then always make sure that all parties sign the deal. Especially with friends, it's really important. So it might seem stupid or extra, like, I don't know, cautious at that time, but the history has taught me and many other people that always write down what you have read and make a contract and make sure that all parties that are involved in will sign that, because then it's like you can't argue with that, or maybe you can, but that might be, you know, stupid thing to do. That's just my experience. Yeah, hey, thanks for watching of this episode number 2, and please check out the playlist, because there's some more episodes about the music business. Hopefully you found this interesting. Take care. Until next time. Bye.